Live, the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160, 101.1 FM. Indiana in the Morning brought to you by First Commonwealth Bank, and we're pleased to be joined in studio this morning by the new special education coordinator at Indiana High School, Justin Zahorchak, and the new assistant principal, Doug Johnson. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, let's find out a little bit about your background, both beginning your first year with Indiana School District, what you've done before, and where you come to us from.
I'm Justin Zahorchak, and I started out my career as a special education teacher. I was an emotional support teacher. Shortly after, I became the elementary principal at Ferndale Area Elementary School in Johnstown. And then I moved to be the elementary principal in Greater Johnstown School District for about another 4 years. Prior to me coming into this role, I was a student service director and federal programs director at Greater Johnstown.
Okay. And we'll also hear from Doug Johnson, the new assistant principal at Indiana High.
Yeah, well, this is my experience in administration is actually pretty short. This is my first job as an administrator. I started teaching at Richland School District. I was a math teacher there. One of the things that I learned as I was going through is I was a coach before that, but really before that even, I was in the Army National Guard, and I was deployed to Iraq. One of the people that I had kind of joined up with there, one of my team leaders, became one of my mentors, just kind of as I was coaching with him and just doing some different things in college. You know, he suggested to become a teacher, and honestly, it's just been kind of one of those things that that has kind of spiraled from there. I've got, you know, a lot of awesome opportunities throughout time, and I'm excited to be here at Indiana.
Well, we welcome both of you to the Indiana Area School District and the Indiana community. Justin, fill us in on the responsibilities, the special education coordinator. What does that entail?
Yeah, so I will oversee the entire district's special education programs, and that includes speech and language support, learning support, programming, emotional support, life skills, and I'll also oversee, which I'm really excited about, the opportunity to oversee our district support systems prior to any referrals for special education. So I'll oversee the district's academic and behavioral support systems that we put in place. One of my expertise areas is emotional support and providing social and emotional supports for students. We just started doing school-wide positive behavior support at Ben Franklin a few years ago, and we're really excited to get that implemented into all of the other buildings. This year we're starting with all 4 elementary school buildings. And our goal really is, you know, when I went out into the public and we've talked with community leaders and business leaders, and we asked them, what is it that our kids need when they graduate from high school? And, you know, you almost expect to hear, you know, they need more math skills or they need more science skills. But what we've heard more than almost anything else is they need to learn how to get along with others. They need to show up to work on time. So this is something that I'm absolutely passionate about. I'm excited to get started, and we're ready to move forward.
Of course, for the past week or so, we've been talking about the Indiana County Ready program.
Yes.
Being put on by the Chamber of Commerce, and I suppose that that's part of your working as well with that, right?
Absolutely, that's a phenomenal program, and I think it's such a great idea for the county to get involved in this type of work because I think a lot of people are seeing it. A lot of people are seeing that need for, you know, those soft skills within not only our workers but to build that within our students in the school system.
Now, do you find that those were things that maybe were taught in our public schools years ago that we sort of got away from?
Yeah, I think, and I also think that generally, you know, decades ago, schools relied very, very heavily on parents to provide that. And I don't think we did a good job of it 10, 20 years ago or even beyond. But I think that this, you know, renewed effort and renewed focus, I think will build a better, well-rounded student.
Justin, any of the other activities within the school district that you'll be in you know, taking part in, any coaching or things like that?
No, I did coach at one point in time. I coached baseball and football, but my coaching days are long, long gone. and I've devoted my entire total effort to serving students within our special ed programming.
Okay, but those skills are there if they're needed someday.
For sure.
Okay, and on the other side of the mic, Doug Johnson, the new assistant principal at Indiana High School. Some of your responsibilities, and what's the typical daily schedule for a assistant principal?
Yeah, those are great questions. Some of my biggest responsibilities are obviously attendance and discipline. Also being an educational leader. I have to tell you, and I've only been in the district for a short period of time, but everybody I've met in this district has just been fantastic. I especially Mr. McElhaney, who I can honestly say, when you have a good leader, and I'm so excited to be able to work for him and kind of learn from his example. One of the things that actually I kind of I worry about is beginning my career in a different district, I had developed a rapport. I'd known everybody there. Coming to a new district, I think one of the things that worries me the most is that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I was able to establish that with coaching and doing some other things at my old district where I don't really have those opportunities necessarily anymore. But I do try to get out to different sporting events and whatnot. I stopped by football practice yesterday. I got to meet the guys. Mm-hmm. They're excited for a new season, and honestly, just kind of learning the lay of the land is what's going to take up most of my time.
Looking down the line, any coaching possibilities?
I don't know that I have that in me yet. Honestly, with two young children, that was kind of what had stopped me from coaching at my previous district. I don't know that that's even possible at this point in my life. But I have to tell you, if it doesn't come back around, it's something that I'm going to miss, because that's honestly, getting those opportunities to work with the kids is what makes the job really worthwhile. And I wish I could get back into that.
Well, they should talk about sports teams. You two are like the two rookies on a sports team at the Indiana Area School District, and sounds like you're anxious to get to know your teammates.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for certain. Like I said, it's people ask me, "You nervous about your new job?" I said, "Well, actually, I haven't minded my new job. It's been nice, but in about a week here, I'm about to meet 1,000 people all at one time, so." Does that concern me? I mean, I'm not concerned, but it's certainly something that's been on the back of my mind.
But just make sure they all wear a name tag.
Yeah.
There we go. We're gonna bring that into play.
Yeah, because they will know your names real fast, but it's going to take a while to know all theirs.
Sure.
Just want to ask both of you, how familiar were you, and what had you known about the Indiana School District before coming here?
I can say that. From what I have heard and from what I've seen from the first few weeks of being on the job, I can tell that this community cares so deeply about the kids. And that was evident from day one. In talking with teachers, and I'm so incredibly impressed with the teachers that I've talked to. They're so into this. This is, everyone is so passionate about the students. Everyone's so passionate about education. I'm also so incredibly impressed, and we just had a school board meeting last night. I'm impressed with how intelligent, how well informed our school board is. Not only our school board, our parents. I've spoken with many parents at this point. Incredibly impressed, and I have to say. I did hear prior to coming here that this community was really, really involved. It's a well-educated community. Love their children. So I'm so excited, and I think this will be a great opportunity for me and for everyone involved.
Doug, are there things you're looking forward to as you get to begin your career here in Indiana?
Yeah, absolutely. When you leave one job to go to another, it's always nervous. But every single person that I've met, and I mean that, every single person, faculty, students, administrators, everybody, they've been so welcoming, and they've really just made me feel comfortable. It took about 2 days, and I'll say this: I loved my old district. That was part of what made me, who I am as an educator. Is that I love there, I love the people, I love the kids. It took me about 2 days to really kind of feel at home at Indiana, and I just look forward to growing on that. Honestly, that's what it's all about, and hopefully I get to offer the same things here that I did before.
Well, this is part of our series, and we do this throughout the school year. We have representatives from our Indiana County school districts stop in here at Indiana in the Morning, and they bring us up to date on the activities. And we also like to highlight the accomplishments of students throughout the year. So I'm sure that we're going to be speaking with some of your students from the elementary school all the way up to the high school throughout the next 7 or 8 months. They'll be on the program, and they'll be letting us in on the good news that they have provided.
Absolutely.
One thing that I have to tell you about is one thing that you want to make sure you visit is that little door across the street. It says Jimmy Stewart Museum.
I saw that.
Have you been there yet?
I have.
Okay, you have, Doug?
I have not, but I know where it's at now.
You know where it's at. It's a great spot to start your career here in Indiana because Jimmy was such a big part of the Indiana community. And, we just want to wish both of you the best of luck in your careers. We've been speaking this morning with Justin Zahorchak, the new special education coordinator for the Indiana Area School District, and Doug Johnson, the new assistant principal of Indiana Senior High School. Gentlemen, thanks so much for stopping by, and I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing more of you as the year goes on.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160, 101.1 FM.